What's up, collectors? Welcome back to Films by Color. Got a fun video for you today. Never done a video like this before. We're going to be talking about online movie stores. You can see I've got two packages right here. I'm going to be opening up both of these on camera. We're going to talk about some online movie stores today. I've made my first ever orders from two of the most popular online video stores, and we're going to compare them today and see which one comes out on top. We have barely any options anymore for retail stores. If you want to shop in-store, basically all we have is Walmart and Barnes & Noble. I've been talking about this on the channel recently. A lot of collectors have. Most of us collectors have had to go online for most of what we buy these days. And I don't like Amazon. Nobody likes Amazon. They ran all the stores out of business by undercutting all the prices, and then they ship it to you in an envelope and everything shows up damaged. I don't like shopping at Amazon, so I've started branching out and trying some other online video stores that people in the comments have told me about, and these are my first two. This right here is from DVD, one of the most popular ones. I hear about them all the time, and then also DiabolikDVD. So we're going to compare both of these today. I made two orders around the same price, got 4 items from each, and we're going to go through and compare everything, the entire process, the site usability, the checkout flow, the shipping costs, the packaging, how well they're packaged, the price. We're going to go through all of it. So if you've been on the fence about whether or not you want to try some of these online stores, watch this video all the way to the end. I'm going to give you as much information as I can, and hopefully it'll be helpful to you in the future. Let's jump into it. All right, before we get these packages opened up, I do want to talk briefly about the sites for both of these stores. I say briefly because it's a pretty close match. There's not that much difference. Both of these sites are following a template framework. I know Orbit is using Shopify. I'm not sure exactly what Diabolik is using. If it's not Shopify, it's a very similar framework. So they're very standard sites. Let's go ahead and jump over to Diabolik. Here is your standard site. You got the big banner across the top. We'll talk about the search, filters, and navigation in just a second, but you're gonna see your advertisements here at the top. They're advertising Deaf Crocodile right now because they're the distributors of Deaf Crocodile stuff. And then you got your big call outs here, latest releases, pre-orders, stuff like that. Your standard site, not that complicated, but we are gonna talk about the search features on here because I do wanna call out some specifics. This is Orbit, same thing. You got the big banner across the top, whatever they're advertising at the moment. And then again, your standard call outs. They got imports, clearance section, used movies, stuff like that. So both of these very, very small operations. I don't know exactly. I've never talked to the guys that run this, but I think they're kind of like a one-man show. I follow both of them on Instagram. They seem very, very small, but they do a really great job of keeping up to date with all of these new items that are coming in. Let's quickly talk about the search functionality because that's gonna be the main thing you need when you're looking for items on here. I really like how Diabolik does this. You can go in here, I'm just gonna type in Criterion, my favorite label, and really like how this works. So you get a modal that pops up immediately, and you can just scroll through anything that is tagged Criterion, and it's running on a lazy load. So if you scroll to the bottom of the options here, it's just gonna keep loading more and more as you go. Super convenient. And on top of that, they have this filter options over here on the right. Right there automatically pops up as soon as you hit enter on the search, and I can click 4K UHD, just tick that, and it immediately refreshes the page and you can see all of the 4K criterions that are available. Then we've got Orbit DVD's search, not as user-friendly, but it is right here at the top and easy to find. You click the search icon, type in, we'll do the same thing, type in Criterion, and then when you hit enter, instead of opening that modal, it's gonna open up a full page, and instead of using a lazy load, it is gonna have pagination at the bottom, so a little bit more inconvenient. You're gonna have to do an extra click, and it'll reload with the second page of options. I do prefer the way that Diabolik does the search, so I'm gonna have to give the point to Diabolik for just that one small function, but realistically, you're probably not gonna search by label. You're probably gonna search for the specific item that you want, the name of the film, and then that'll come up and it won't be a big deal. That's usually how it's gonna work. But I do wanna mention another way that you can navigate instead of search, and it is nice that both companies have this feature. They have a browse by label feature. So right here at the top of Diabolik, you can see browse by label. This is how I'm gonna shop most often. If you're as big of a nerd as I am and you like to really dial in and go for the labels like Criterion, like Eureka, like Deaf Crocodile, they're right there. So you click on Deaf Crocodile and then all items from Deaf Crocodile are gonna come up. I think that's a little bit more realistic. I do really like their search feature though, and that does come in handy sometimes. But for the most part, you're gonna shop by label, by category. They have horror up here at the top for big horror fans, other categories, all these different categories you can shop Very convenient. Orbit has the exact same thing. Movies by label right here at the top. You've got Criterion. You've got Deaf Crocodile on here as well. Flickr Alley, Indicator, Kino Lorber. So Orbit's going to be the exact same thing. I will say though that Orbit has an import labels, so they specifically call out the ones that are imports, which is a big thing about these stores that I absolutely should mention. Not only can you buy Region A American releases on these sites, but also Region B, Region C, all worldwide releases. They have a lot of imports. That's really the main benefit of buying from these stores, because they get stuff shipped into them, even stuff that's not on Amazon. You can either shop on like amazon.co.uk or Amazon France. There's other Amazons you can use, but I find this to be a lot more convenient. Everything's in USD and it's going to get to you a lot faster. The shipping is going to be much quicker because it's coming from an American company. So if you are in the States and you do want to branch out and you're region free and you're buying stuff from all across the globe, this is super nice and better than Amazon for that. Now there are a few other differences here with navigation. We'll just keep going with our Criterion label here. These are small things, not a big difference, but if you look here on Diabolik, they have an add to cart button right here on the PLP, the product listing page, which is super convenient. I can just go here and click add Punch Drunk Love and the Grifters to the cart, and Prince of Broadway. We'll add that one too. Very nice if you're going through and kind of batch ordering. You can see on Orbit, they don't have that add to cart page here. You're gonna have to click into the item and then hit the add to cart button. But they do have a quick buy button, which is just a different kind of navigation. Click quick buy and it'll pop right up and go straight to PayPal from there. So if you're in a hurry, Orbit's a little bit better for that. If you're doing batch orders, Diabolik's gonna be better, but not big deals for either side. Both of those kind of balance each other out, I think. One more thing about the user experience I wanna mention is they both use a wish list feature. So if you go to a page and you click on the product details page and you wanna add that movie to your wish list for the future, you can't afford it right now, add to wish list button right there. Same thing on Orbit. They both have the exact same feature. We'll go back to Three Women and there it is, the little heart right there. Love this feature because my eyes are always bigger than my budget and I like to add stuff away for the future. I will say that Diabolik's wish list is a little bit easier to find. It's right up here in the top nav. Orbit's is a little bit harder to find. It took me a while to realize what this was, but it's down here all the way at the bottom right corner. If you click on this little heart down here, it pops right up. So I just wanted to mention that in case anyone was having trouble finding it, but both of them have very similar wish list features. You can add stuff there, save it for later for when you got the funds. So most of the site usability comes out even. I do like the way that Diabolik does search a little bit better, but for the most part, it's pretty even across the board. Both sites are responsive as well. I should mention that. So you can view everything right there on a mobile device. If you don't want to use a desktop or a laptop, you can make orders from your mobile phone. Super easy, super clean. I'm not going to linger too long on the checkout process because both of them are pretty much exactly the same. Like I said, just your standard template site checkout process. So you've got the option to pay with PayPal, credit card, debit card, all the standard stuff. I will say I do like where Orbit has the cart. It's right up here in the top right corner with a shopping bag icon, which is where you usually think to look for the shopping cart. Very easy to find. Diabolik has it over here in the main nav, which is fine, but no icon, just the word cart right there. Not a big deal. Both are easy to find. And both have a big call out here right at the top of your cart that lay out all of the rules, like the business days, when they're gonna ship your order, how long it's gonna take to ship your order, and of course, if you have a pre-order item in your order, it's not gonna ship until that item is released. I like that they lay this all out right here at the top, so there's no questions. You don't have to look for an FAQ page. I also like this little attention banner at the top that Orbit has. Just a reminder that everything that is Region B is not gonna play on a US player. Most of us know that by now, but it's good for new collectors, and I like having that there at the top. The rest of the checkout flow, like I said, is pretty much exactly the same, so I'm not going to go into that too much, but I will mention that both of these sites have the ability to sign up for a newsletter and the ability to make an account so you can view all of your orders and keep track of everything. And this is where Diabolik has a little bit of an edge. I signed up for both of these recently. Diabolik sent me a welcome email with a 10% off coupon for my first order, which I absolutely used in this order and brought it down. It was about $140 my first order, so I got $14 off, which is a pretty good deal. But I will also say that Orbit had a special going on, which gave you free shipping if you bought at least 3 items. So they kind of balanced each other out. I got $14 off from Diabolik, but I had to pay $6 for shipping, and then I got free shipping on the Orbit order. Either way, not a big deal at all. Shipping is great from both of these. $6 is pretty standard. That's what Vincent charges. So I don't think that's a big deal either way. It was nice to get free shipping, but $6, not a big deal, especially for the bigger box sets that I bought. Enough of that. Let's go ahead and get into the exact packaging. I talked about the shipping costs, but let's talk about the actual shipping speed, how fast they got here, and how well they're packaged. That's the most important thing, right? You got to get your movies here on time or relatively quickly and in good shape. So we're going to start with the Orbit package here because I was super impressed with Orbit. This is where Orbit's going to make up some ground in this competition because they got this out so fast. I ordered both of these on January 3rd, the exact same time, right after each other. Orbit shipped it out same day, January 3rd, and then I got it in the mail January 6th. January 6th, 3 days. I picked the lowest shipping option on both, and like I said, it was free shipping for Orbit. And this one got here in 3 days. Diabolik, a little bit slower, and I will give them credit. They do say on the site that they get a lot of orders, and it's a real small mom and pop shop, so they do take time on orders. So they at least tell you that up front so you're not wondering where your package is. But it did take a little bit longer to get here. It wasn't shipped out same day. It was shipped out January 9th, so 6 days after I made the order. And then it got here delivered on January 14th. So about 8 days after my Orbit. So if you need something like right away, like it's super urgent, like you got to make a YouTube review, if you're a YouTuber and you want to get it here very quickly, or you're buying a gift for somebody, maybe go with Orbit. They might be a little bit faster. This might have just been this one situation. I don't know. This is my only order I've made from them. But for my one order, Orbit was a lot faster. And that's not a slight against Diabolik. Like I said, both of these are very small shops, so I was not expecting it to get here as fast. That's just more of a kudos to Orbit for getting it here so fast. He did a really, really great job with that shipping. And then I will say, the last thing we got to talk about is packaging. So let's go ahead and dive into it. I didn't really mention price at all because they were basically about the same. The prices were even pretty much across the board. Maybe $3 more for one on one site and then a few dollars less on the other. So it was pretty even. They're all around that same price point on both sides. Pretty much MSRP list price, sometimes a little bit under. So you just got to look back and forth, compare, and find the cheapest price for each one. That's what I did, and it worked out for me. Like I said, I spent about $120, $140 on both of these packages, and I will say, both of these packaged immaculately. Look at this. So I will say I opened this Orbit box already because I had to do a couple other videos. I wanted to put some of these on my top 10 of the year, but I did put it back in here the way it was so you could see how it was packaged. First of all, right off the bat, extra bubble wrap on top to make sure it doesn't bounce around. Great. He did throw in 2 stickers in here, Orbit, Asheville, North Carolina. I actually didn't know they were located in Asheville. It's not too far from me. We might have to take a little trip to Asheville because I would love to see this store in person. This is a physical store, and the online store is just kind of on top of that, which is great. So I would love to go there. That was a nice thing. You didn't have to throw that in there. And then inside here, crazy packaging. So we've got double bubble wrap on top of the additional bubble wrap on top. So it's taped up. We've got this outer layer of bubble wrap and another inner layer of bubble wrap. And then on top of that, like I said, these are already opened. So I did open it, but I put it back the way it was. And on top of that, we've got little slips of bubble wrap in between the box sets, just to make sure they're not sliding around and scratching up the box sets. So cool. Really, really appreciate that. Top-notch shipping from Orbit DVD. You can see I got the Radiance box sets for Haxan and Nothing Sacred. And then I got the 3 Wishes for Cinderella from Second Run. So imports. All 3 of those are imports. And then I've got the Secret of Nim from Eureka, another import. Great. Great across the board. Very, very happy with that shipping from Orbit. And then we've got the Diabolik one, which I haven't opened yet. I'm very excited to get this opened up. Again, additional bubble wrap on the top, keeping it in there from bouncing around. Some paper. And again, bubble wrapped all around. Here are the items I got from Diabolik. I had to get some Deaf Crocodile. These are the last ones I need for the big new Slipbox packaging. I just have 2 more of the old Vincent releases that I gotta track down, but I'm almost done. So very happy to have the last 3 of those. These are actually the first 3 of these big slip boxes they did, and I just didn't have them yet, so I had to grab those. And then the last one here is my first ever 101 Films release. This is The Sword and the Sorcerer. I have no idea what to expect from this movie. 80s sword and sorcery film. I don't know if it's good or if it's so bad it's good. I think it's a little hokey, a little cheesy, but I'm excited to check it out. I have kind of a running movie night here with two of my friends. We've been watching through some old sword and sorcery movies that started with the Conan release from Arrow Video last year, and we've just kind of been keeping it going. We got Beastmaster back there, we got Yor, and now we've got the Sword and the Sorcerer. So I'm really excited to check that one out. Lots of stuff to dig into with that release. I will talk about all these movies later after I get them opened up on the channel, but this video is more about, like I said, the sites for Orbit and Diabolik. So thanks so much for listening to all my rambling. I think it's pretty even. I think it's pretty much a dead heat. Like I said, Diabolik had a little bit better, gets a little bit of points for the navigation of the site, but Orbit definitely gets a point for shipping speed. That was great. Prices, pretty even, right about the same, and packaging, even, right about the same. Both did excellent with packaging. So I don't know, guys. I think they're both great. I'm definitely going to be ordering more things from them in the future. In fact, already I have ordered something from one of these in the past couple weeks that I'll be talking about very shortly on the channel. Big box set that was out of print. Everyone thought it was out of print, but they got one. They got one back in, and it was just a few copies, and it was a mad scramble to my cart to get that in there and get it shipped out really quickly. So I'm excited to talk about that in the future. But that's all for Orbit and Diabolik. Let me know if this video was helpful. There's a couple things I did want to mention, but I don't have enough information. So if anyone in the comments could let me know. I don't know if they do international shipping. I'm assuming they do. I'm pretty sure they would. I don't know what the cost of it is though, because I didn't do that. I did standard shipping in the US, and then I don't know how the customer service is. I'm assuming it's great as well. I've heard good things from other folks. I just personally haven't used the customer service. I didn't have to do any returns or anything. So those are two things that I'll have to follow up on in the future, and I definitely will. I want to keep this series going. I want to talk about other stores, so also recommend some stores down in the comments section that you've used. I've heard of Atomic DVD. That's supposed to be another good one. Hamilton Book, of course, is a little bit of a different thing. Deep Discount, those are kind of bigger things, but still, I want to go through all of them. I want to compare these things and help you guys, help the collectors, help the community, so that we can adapt to this new collector lifestyle where we're buying most things online. It's scary. It's a little nerve-wracking to order stuff online and just hope that it gets to you in one piece. But from these two, way better than Amazon. I will order. I'll pay a couple bucks more extra to get it shipped in this nice big box with bubble wrap around it, instead of Amazon just punting it onto my door and running, because it's terrible. I've had Steelbooks, slipcovers, everything broken. I've had to ship it back. It's a pain. I don't like Amazon, if I haven't made that clear. So I'm going to keep ordering from these sites. And the prices aren't actually that much difference. It's probably going to be a little bit because Amazon's trying to undercut everybody. But I'm very happy to support some local mom-and-pop shops. Thank you guys again so much for watching. I really want your feedback in the comments on this video, more than any other video, because I'm still learning about this stuff, and I want to know if this was helpful. I want to know if you guys want me to continue this series, and we'll keep doing it together. Until next time, keep collecting, and I'll be back with another one real soon.